to the word. Written up in the New York Times.
A star, the boy of stars offers no direction.
The train, I knew the name of the station, I knew where. I wrote to your father, my grandfather died.
I love poetry, I swear to God. And as mentioned earlier, she was the only female on the 2010 New Yorican National Poetry Slam.
My fingers dipped in pixie dust the moment I was born. And even though my parents infiltrated my soul with a belief in equality, and even though I'm ethnically baptized in Judaism, I bear an altered version of Mike's. Everything I touch is white. And I can wear Birkenstocks and jump left foot in every game of political hopscotch. I can plaster my backpack with colors and patches to cover my skin. I can teach for America with my intellectual feminist kin, but I'm slowly becoming the problem with racism. I run-throve the subway past the 40th and Market stop in West Philly just to see. And I felt like I was riding the monorail in Disneyland, penetrating society with the ideals I claimed to speak against. I spent too many years in submission pretending I had nothing to do with oppression. But no matter how many racial profiling incidents I protest, I'm still a product of dominating manipulation and superiority inflation. So I've unlocked my door to the enemy from within. And let the aversive racist layer match the color embroidered on my skin. See, this is what they teach you in activist school. Perform corrective and cosmetic surgery on any racism by covering it up with white liberal euphemisms. Don't notice that she's Latina. Don't notice that there are so many East Asians studying the library on Friday. Don't notice that the car passing me at 2 a.m. is filled with black men. And don't notice that every other poem I hear from a white liberal female is about how she tutors some poor black child and never expected that he'd teach her anything worthwhile. And don't notice that we too own the oppression that we claim to be above. And I keep thinking about race as I write this poem. I keep thinking about race everywhere I go as some incarcerated racism that tries to penetrate my soul. Vacillates to my exterior to taint my tone, and I want to use metaphors like shackles and chains, and I want to use metaphors like blood-stained shame, but those aren't metaphors that I'm allowed to own. So I'm trying to surrender to my own linguistic reign. I'm trying to remember what I learned from where I came, but I keep thinking about race, I keep thinking about race, I keep placing my safe like NLK as a pedestal of egalitarianism, when instead I keep becoming the Caesar of imperialism. I'd be lying if I said the internal antagonism isn't painful, and I'd be lying if I said that white guilt and privilege isn't a complicated handful, but I'd be lying if I said I was perfectly honorable. I'm going to have to let the whiteness surface to permeate my skin, to just accept the racism that's hidden deep within. Thank you. This is called House. We don't live there anymore. As big and eventful as Grand Central Station, intimate as a youth hostel, our house was a good house. Everyone was welcome. Enoch ran away to the living room in 8th grade, Phil to the guest room after college. The circular driveway opened into the busiest street off the interstate, the backyard fence unlocked into intimacy and a neighborhood half hectic, half calm. Our house was a good home. Surrounded by privilege in every cardinal direction. To the north, the border of Winnetka. 96% white with a medium home value of $1.5 million. East, the neighbor's indoor swimming pool and private tennis court. South, our soccer field-sized backyard. West, a Chicago sports news anchor and his family. The upstairs sitting room. Like the Forum of Ancient Rome, a balcony onto which all of our bedrooms opened, where I learned to be private and public simultaneously, lock the door, slit my wrist, and then sit on the couch and admit my scars. My brother Josh and I took trips underneath the dining room table, large and made of glass. The attic had extra doorways and stored 5 lifetimes of postcards and clothing. The basement withstood several floods as furniture came and went. My father's massage chair, the treadmill, the gray couch on which I often undressed in secretive romance. Other than the time Josh walked in on Dane and me, no one ever knew or heard me. My bedroom housed the only 2 windows disconnected from the alarm system, so I always had an escape plan. Away from my upbringing, away from my expectations, away from what sometimes felt like an identity prison. My carpet was pink. My walk-in closet, a castle of clothes. My bathroom, big enough to lay down on the floor, talk on the phone, write, and do shots of vodka with my friends. Two staircases, one leading to the kitchen and garage, one leading to the foyer and front door. Everything has at least two options and directions, so I use shovels to dig below the surface. Uproot the pains and traumas of my past. Vacuum up the pieces of abuse nestled in my bedroom carpet that absorbed every no I begged my friend in high school. Saw off the branches of every tree ring for every year I hated my body and had love affairs with every bathroom. Dust up the glass from whatever broken mirror cursed us with 7 years of bad luck. When Josh died, our house of cards collapsed, falling atop one another, tumbling on afternoons when my father no longer rose from bed to be a Wall Street giant. Instead, the mastered bedroom became the backdrop for his King Lear tragedy. My mother's office, the cavern cave for remorse and pickup sticks, my sister Natalie's stove, no longer cooking. Who was left to be fed? We don't live there anymore. There is a new family now. The house sold for much less than it was worth, not just money, but the legacy that raised what I always thought was supposed to be an upper-middle-class white picket-fenced family, but the fence was light wood anyway. And class is a relative term of the past in this economy, and my family is one body smaller and in transition these days. Josh sleeps in the cemetery across the street from a shopping mall. Natalie is still learning to understand the intersection of luxury and tragedy. My mother has an apartment overlooking downtown Chicago. My father lives in a hotel room in Midtown Manhattan. My memories are boxed in a storage locker near Interstate 94. The backyard is a construction site for a new home. The new residents cut the trees down. The green shutters and brick wall, now fully exposed. This is called Offline.
Okay.
Literally. Offline. Maybe, if I sign online enough, God will appear in my G-chat or Facebook chat list, or someone like that. Someone with the answers to listen unconditionally. Harbor every one of the secretly dismal emotions and thoughts I keep locked in my head. Every hour or minute, as often as possible, I click. Online, offline, while I stare at the computer. That which illuminates in a room of darkness. The way the screen plays North Star in the galaxy of my anxieties. The way the keyboard seamlessly types my every pain. The way I yearn that somewhere on the other side of the internet there are solutions. For every symptom I cannot Google or understand by my own process of elimination. Thank you.